the Healing Through Love podcast with Charlene Lynch and Rose Davidson. In episode 9, learn how to release trauma from your body and live a more joyful life with Savitri Bejoyful.
I need to ask you, can you please explain how did you get to your last name, Bejoyful?
Yes, my first name and my last name have quite an intertwined story. My last name, Bejoyful, was actually my business name. I registered a business name like years ago, and I actually wanted to register Happy, but it was taken. And I went through this whole plethora of happy, all the thesaurus thing in the computer. And anyway, I ended up with Bejoyful, and then I ended up checking it out with a numerologist and all of that. So to how that came to be my last name, I just have to backpedal a little bit because
Welcome to another episode of Healing Through Love. Each week, we share ideas, experiences, and resources to increase the awareness of domestic and family violence and to empower survivors to grow and thrive. We talk with experts who share their advice, or with people who have experienced abuse, no matter where they are on their journey. This is all about healing through love. And now, here are your hosts, Charlene Lynch and Rose Davidson.
Hello and welcome to the Healing Through Love podcast. I'm your host, Charlene Lynch from charlenelynch.com. Healing Through Love is a social enterprise whose vision is to shift awareness on domestic and family violence within the community and to support victims and survivors. Our mission is to provide family and domestic violence survivors with a soft place to land by offering advice and services available to them and their families. We interview experts and survivors who share their personal stories and offer advice. Those who have either received abuse or have some level of training in that area. No matter where you are on your journey of healing, this show is for you. As well as Healing Through Love podcast, we hold annual Pamper Days here in Adelaide and also Tasmania for survivors of family and domestic violence. Our local businesses get together and pay it forward by providing their services and resources for a day that gives our survivors a much-deserved day of indulgence. Think day spa. It's amazing. And today we've got a very special guest with us, Savitri Bejoyful. I've got to ask about your last name, so we'll have a chat about that. Specializes in releasing trauma from your body. She is the founder of Joyful Living. I can't wait to find out more about that. A 6-month online Zoom coaching program that releases trauma that's collected along life's journey. Savitri also arms you with self-care toolbox to nurture and value and celebrate you. She's an expert authority in neuro-linguistic programming as well, and she's got some very special offers to share with us today. Hello, Savitri.
Hello, Charlene. I am so excited and grateful to be here, and thank you so much for having me.
Oh, Savitri, it's been a little while since I've seen you face to face.
Yes.
Back in the day, we had our get-togethers with Adair, and I follow her now on her adventures on her boat, which is beautiful to see. And behind the scenes, she's very helpful and supportive of the Healing Through Love program. So their network helps support what we do here in Adelaide. Even from afar, she's really making an impact. But Savitri, I need to ask you, can you please explain how did you get to your last name, Bejoyful?
Yes, my first name and my last name have quite an intertwined story. My last name, Bejoyful, was actually my business name. I registered a business name like years ago, and I actually wanted to register Happy, but it was taken. And I went through this whole plethora of happy, all the thesaurus thing in the computer. And anyway, I ended up with Bejoyful, and then I ended up checking it out with a numerologist and all of that. So I was, so to how that came to be my last name, I just have to backpedal a little bit, because I have a spiritual teacher, and we'll come back to that later. I have a spiritual teacher, and I went to a session. They call it Laya Yoga. So it was a kind of a meditation. It was 11 of us in the group, and we had a blessing at the end, individual blessing. And the spiritual teacher during the blessing said to me, "Would you like a spiritual name?" And I said, "Yes, I would love a spiritual name." And there's another interesting thing about that is that I always envied my sister. When I learned cursive, I used to love the flow of the S, and I was really envious because mine wasn't as graceful, and I ended up with an S. So Savitri came through. So Savitri came through as a name for me, and it means goddess of the sun. And so I quite liked that. And I dated it for 18 months. And when I say I dated it, all the new people that I met, I introduced myself as Savitri, and I had no problems. Everyone received it well, and no one mispronounced it. They all seemed to get it. And I thought, oh, this is all right. So I changed it after 18 months legally. And I thought, Savitri, do I keep my married name? My married name went really well, but I didn't want to keep my married name, clearly. And then my maiden name didn't flow as well. So I'm like, oh, anyway, so I was like, oh, I'll use my business name. So I became Savitri Bejoyful.
I love it. And I especially love the fact that you mentioned you dated it. So one of the terms I use with many of my consultants is that, if we're trying on something new, why don't we just try dating it? We're not marrying it. I just would like you to date the idea, the concept, and see how this new behavior fits for you. And then if we like it, we'll marry it. I just love that. I love that we speak the same terminology.
Yeah.
So Savitri, how did you get here? What's your journey of becoming a healer? Because it's not for everybody. And
No.
I'm really fascinated to find out, what was your journey of becoming a healer?
Well, it goes back to, again, Savitri, or back then I had split with my husband. We'd been married 17 years. And I was looking for a meditation group, just a meditation group. And then I found this group, and they offered weekend workshops. And I did the weekend workshops, and I repeated quite a few of them. And they were actually it was about your energy body. So it was really interesting the way that evolved and came to me. And so I learned about chakras and auras and how to clear them and cleanse them and sweep them and balance them. And so that was the beginning of my whole evolution. I mean, I was always open because my mum did astrology, and I was interested in numerology, from way back. So yeah, it kind of evolved and came to me. Life happens, and I changed jobs, and so I have my work background is actually retail, hospitality, and the homelessness sector. So a bit of variety, but mostly generic. Probably the homelessness wouldn't be so generic, but that was really hard, actually, the homelessness section. Coming from retail to going into that was quite a head spinner, because I had to say no to people, and it was really, really hard, actually. But anyway, so I'm not sure. So those courses, that was a couple of years. I kind of just stayed with that, and I actually met in that group. There was a person that did tapping. Now, he did not do the usual tapping. They call it EFT, emotional freedom technique. He did a tapping that's called faster EFT, so faster emotional freedom technique. So it's the same thing. It's tapping. So tapping, I don't know if people know about tapping, but so the tapping, where to start? So our tapping is on the forehead, the eyebrows, under here, and here, and that's it. So it is fast, like it's shorter, less touch points than the other touch points. And of course, the thing that goes with that is the releasing, clearing statement that you use with that. And so I learned that when I was doing the chakra clearing and cleansing, and I've kind of expanded it as well to what I do for me. So so I guess that was huge, because the tapping was just incredible. It was just, you know, and the person that I worked with was really good at drilling down. I have to tell you a story. So we went to a meditation, and I actually used to look after the books and CDs and things. So I was carrying them in, and then this person that I worked with the tapping was coming towards me, and I had just literally found out that my auntie had died. Like, and I just looked at this person and I just lost it. And he just came up to me, and I can't even remember for the life of me, but he cleared it. I had no sadness. I was absolutely 100. I was like, it gives me goosebumps just talking about it, you know. And I'm so grateful for that, you know. And so all I have is I have beautiful memories of my auntie. That's all I have. I don't have you know, my sister, she went into this whole crisis, and there's another whole story behind that. But I was so grateful, you know, that I was around this beautiful community and this person that was able to, you know, release me from all my trauma. And
that's beautiful. That's a very touching story, Savitri, how you've had that personal impact, and that's why you know this methodology, the EFT, that it works. It's worked for you, and you've had that physical response. And that's probably why you're so attached to it as well. And you've now managed to marry the NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, with the fast tapping, and also create your own methodology in and around what you share and how you transform people and help them release trauma. Yes?
Yes. Well, the thing is, I do it on myself. You know, when, you know, if something gets me distressed, I can tap and or use the neuro-linguistic programming to just, you know, just send it out of my system. Because that's the thing is, the trauma that we lock into our system, a lot of it comes even from childhood. Sometimes it's even, we don't even remember. In fact, I'm having memories come back to me from my childhood, because I'm doing a lot of trauma work, and I am having memories coming back. And that is such a gift, because it's an opportunity for me to clear it. It's an opportunity for me to let it go, because we carry around this stuff in our body. We don't know it's even there half the time. And what happens is, you know, you can have a trauma, you know, whatever it is as a child, and it's like that. And then something else happens and it goes on top and it concretizes it. And then you get another trauma and it goes on top. So you end up with this thing, and our body creates illness from it eventually. If we're not able to release it out of our body, a lot of illness is actually created by our bodies. So it's, you know, but sometimes we don't know it's there. So that's the other thing. And so something, you know, you could be quite reactive, and you don't know why you're so reactive. Something could happen and just snap and you react and you think, oh, and then after you think, well, I don't know why I reacted like that. But it could be just something from your past that's just, you know, just sniggled at you and just, you know.
Absolutely. So we get triggers all the time, and sometimes we don't have that level of awareness to know where those triggers are coming from. And as a DV survivor and a family violence survivor myself, some things happened, and some things happen and they can just trigger you. It can be someone speaking and them talking and then their fist is closed, and that can be enough to help, shut down my mind. So all I'm concentrating on is their fist closed, and I'm unable to actually hear the words that they say. So there can be just little triggers that put us back, in that space, even if it's just temporarily, even if it's just for a few seconds. Yes, and wouldn't it be nice to be able to take control of that and not live life that way, or at least put space between thought and action, so you're observing the triggers and you can make a different choice of how to behave afterwards. I love it. So how have you managed to marry this NLP and also the tapping together to create the therapy? Is there a name to the therapy that you do?
No, I haven't. I haven't got that far because I'm. I guess I'm experimenting, and I'm experimenting on myself a lot to find out, the quickest and easiest way. Because, sometimes healers actually need other healers or other people to facilitate, because we can't always see, and it's the awareness. It's actually having that awareness of, I'm not, it's the sensations in your body, like checking in and going, oh, I felt to that. What happened? And then looking at that, and not just brushing it off and moving on with your day, looking at that little trigger and, why, what was that about, And yes. So I haven't named it yet, but thanks for the thought.
It's so true. Maybe we'll have a chat later, Savitri. That is my area of expertise. I believe that we do need the proximity of other people, and even those who are healing. Healed people heal, yes, and we always need to up level. And I love to go hang out with my clients, and they do their workshops, do their retreats, do their programs, because I just love that proximity of people who are on that healing process and that healing path, and it's wondrous. And it's nice to bring an open cup, an empty cup, and say, okay, fill me up. What have you got to share with me? And it's always great to come from that place of curiosity rather than, yep, I know, I've got my modality, I know what I'm doing. And it's great to have that level of curiosity. Now, before the show, we were chatting about affirmations, and this is also something that you use as one of the toolboxes. Can you maybe expand on that? Maybe tell our audience, if they don't know what an affirmation is, and maybe you can explain how you use them in the toolbox.
Yes, well, affirmations, actually, and that's what I wanted to say. When I work with my clients, we're releasing the trauma, and sometimes it can leave a sensation of, well, who am I now? If I don't have this problem, if I don't have this pain in my body, if I don't have this going on, who am I? And so that's what I also like to help my clients with, is to help them with a toolbox that can fill that void, that can fill them with something that they can, thrive and flourish with. And an affirmation, if it is, there's a couple of little tricks to affirmations, and you need to, so if you're on the breadline, for instance, and you're, struggling, and your affirmation is, I'm a multimillionaire, or something along those lines. And in actual fact, you can try that. You can say, I'm a multimillionaire. Now look at your body. Look inside your body. I'm a multimillionaire. Where does your body react to that? If your body reacts to that, the affirmation will not work. It won't work. Your body, your mind will go racing to discredit it, and your body will not allow it either. It'll fight against it. So your affirmation has to be in line with your beliefs. So you could say, and I still don't think this would work if you are on the breadline, you could say, I'm in the process of becoming a multimillionaire. See, that feels a little bit different, but it's probably your mind is probably still going to fight it, and your body's still probably going to fight it. So that's, that's a bit of a secret for getting affirmations to work for you. So you could wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to have the best day today. And if you know you've got to speak to the boss, could be a struggle. But you could say, I'm going to have a day with fun and laughter. So it's, and that can be a daily thing that you could get out of bed and say, I'm going to have a day with fun and laughter. I hope that's helpful for you. And I hope that, it gives you something to think about. But it's the secret is looking within. It's looking in your body for those sensations. And if you feel something, that means your body's reacting. And that means that it's not going to work.
Isn't that fascinating?
It is.
I love it. So along with the NLP and the tapping and the affirmations, are there other little secrets in your toolbox that you share with people during the process of your 6-week journey that you take them on?
Well, I do also do auras and that can be done remotely. I haven't had the request to do that because of the work that we're doing. I mean, if it fits, then so be it. If it is going to be of help and useful, for sure, definitely.
I love it. I'm sorry, I'm having my cup of tea because here at the time of day is a cup of tea time. So it's totally cup of tea time. All right, you've got a couple of really amazing processes and programs that you're offering our listeners today. So the first one is that she's totally delighted to be offering anyone who's listening to this podcast or watching the podcast, if you're viewing it, to receive a free coaching session. Now that's up until the 1st of January, 2023. So if you're listening, the links will be here in the description so that you can reach out. But so how long is that coaching session and what sort of things would you cover off in that?
Yes. Well, I'd actually, I thought that if anyone's watching it, I just wanted to leave it open for a window so that if people, but not forever, obviously. So that's kind of why I wanted to leave it open for a while to give people the opportunity if they see it, kind of down the track. So what I really would like to offer is the first session is like a discovery call to uncover, what I could best help them with. And then I'd like to do another 2 sessions with them. So they could be half an hour to an hour sessions each, and they would be at least a fortnight apart. So all of those details would be, discussed with them. But so I'd like to offer 3 sessions per person, actually, because, you can't get much out of one session, and I really, I've got some great tools and I just want to share them. And I love this community, and it's a special thing just for this community. So they will need to mention Healing Through Love when they book that. And I would be just delighted to help with
Savitri, that's so beautiful. And it is a special community of listeners who have in their heart that, they're healing or being healed, and they want to share this new frequency with other people. So it is a special community, and bless you for being so generous and offering this to our community. Now, for ladies who are looking for the next level of healing, I understand you've got a 6-month program, which you've slashed the price down to only $300, only for those people that are in the proximity of Healing Through Love. And that's only available to the 1st of January. So that's a 6-month program that is delivered online through Zoom. Is that right? Maybe could you tell us a little bit more about that 6-month program?
Yeah, for sure. So again, that will be like a Zoom sessions, and it will be tailored to, where they are at. And so as I said, like I like to do the releasing, but also the filling up of their cup. So to arm them with a toolbox going forward, that they're not just left, I don't know where to go next, or I don't know what to do. So it will be tailored to what they need. And so I'm thinking that a 6-month program, we should be able to make some serious headway in that. And it's just for this Healing Through Love community, because, I really value what you're doing. And I think I'm super excited and grateful to be a part of. I did participate in the last Healing Through Love Day, Pamper Day, and it was actually really, I just might share with you. I thought it was very interesting because I was doing auras and chakras, and there weren't very many people that had pain in their body. So that was really a really good. It was interesting to me because I thought that would be not the case. I mean, there were some people that had some bits and pieces, but it was a beautiful day to be involved with, and looking forward to doing some more.
Yeah, it's fascinating. So the people that come along to those days are somewhere on their journey, and they can be still, and I'm going to use the term bleeding, but we know what we're talking about. So still in process, or freshly out of it, and also those who are further down the track. Yes, and we've had mothers there that have their daughters going through it. So they were there to sort of learn something and get connected, and even bring their daughters along so they can show their daughters, what the possibilities of life could be like outside of that relationship. So
absolutely. And that's huge, the generational and the lineage of all this. And that's another reason why I'm working so hard on me, is for my children, is for my generation and my lineage. And I know, everything that we do, all the healing that we do, it actually affects our communities. It's not just about us. It's a wider scope, and that's another reason why I'm so super excited and grateful to be able to offer some assistance.
I love it. I just love everything that you do. I love what you bring to the table, and it's beautiful to be in your proximity. And it's great that we're Adelaideans, just saying. We go Adelaide. And we have had interest in several other states to join us and create their own Healing Through Love programs. So we're working diligently behind the scenes to expand this as well. So we're very excited for the possibilities of where this could go from here. So, wow, you've been on a journey yourself, and you've healed, you've changed your name, started a business, transitioned completely away from your normal 9-to-5 job, and now work exclusively as a healer, offering beautiful modalities of tapping and NLP, and really understanding how to use the structure of self-programming with visualization, and also the affirmations and all of the things that entails. And on the way, you're healing others. And it's what we say, the healers, people that heal others. And that's exactly what you're experiencing. You're healing yourself, and now you're putting your hand out to help others and help them move forward. Because it's true, Savitri, that as we raise our frequency, we raise the frequency of the planet, and a rising tide raises all ships. So for us to step into that new frequency, we'll be making a powerful difference for everyone else. I love it. Now, before we go, and I could talk to you all day just saying, Savitri, but before we go, have you got some closing words, some words of wisdom in and around, the healing process and how people can move forward?
Yes, well, I think the people that are like in the thick of it, for want of a better word, I think that it's really important for them to have someone that they can talk to. It doesn't matter, it could be even a doctor, because I know that it's difficult to even have access to other people, and you need to be careful who that might be. So it doesn't matter who. I mean, obviously you need to trust them, but it's really important to be able to have someone that you can talk to. That would be my first thing. But the other thing would be is to find something that you really love. So it could be music. Maybe you can have a bit of a dance, or maybe it's gardening, or, just there could be lots of different things, but find something that you enjoy and take a little bit of time for you whenever you can. And that's really valuable, because that will really help you as well. That will help you heal you. And the other thing is to breathe. So if you breathe, when I say breathe, I mean we all breathe, but I mean deep breathing. I mean slow, deep breathing. So if you put your hand on your lower belly, so I'm not talking about your chest up here, because we breathe, through our lungs, but I'm talking about a deep, slow breathe. So you fill up your chest, but then you breathe and fill up your belly. And that, that will even pull you back, because your air fills your belly. Well, it does for me. And then, so do that to the count of 4. So breathing into 4, holding it full at 4, counting 4, and then letting it go at 4. So you're also releasing it slowly at 4. And when you're empty, hold empty at 4. So it's a cyclical process, and do it at least 4 times. So that is something that you can do. And again, it is, the trick is remembering to do it, actually, most of the time. So however you can do that. Yeah.
I love it. It's been a wonderful session, having a conversation, and all of the links on how to receive the free contact, that free counselling session with Savitri, and also details about her 6-month process, which is only available for people on Healing Through Love at the $300 price point, and it's only available until the 1st of January. So thank you so much for listening today, listeners, and enjoying the journey. And this was a great conversation and hugely educational. And thank you. So can we say goodbye, Savitri?
Thank you so much, everyone, and thanks for having me.
Thank you. And that's bye from Healing Through Love.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Healing Through Love. You can get further resources, see the show notes, or simply reach out to us via our website at htlaustralia.org. Thanks so much for joining us, and we look forward to your company next time on the Healing Through Love podcast.